Okay, map 11 of zone 404, which means that we are at the end of what Doom 2 would consider episode 1. I think given the naming structure changed at map 08, but this map set maybe sort of thinks of episode 1 as being maps 1 through 7. Instead, but see an effort to save lines there, in that this is flush with the wall, and it'll save one, because you can use a triangle behind that, but he may also have done other things behind the maps, because an indented door like this is 4 lines, because it's a box, or something like that you can do with 3 lines, because you've used upper and lower textures. Similarly here, rather than indenting the demon face, it's flush, which means that there's a triangle with floor and ceiling heights together, and then an upper texture of the demon face, and a lower texture of metal. And then because that's here, and you've got a space before you hit the doors, it allows you to put in a different texture to create a sense of some detail, while minimizing your line use. So what we have here is, standard peak-off hub spoke, start room, 4 doors, only one of them doesn't need a key, so you've got to go through that. I'm assuming that will open at the end. Very thick doors. Thank you for distracting the Arachnotron game. That was handy. Okay, and there's a 20 spot up here, isn't there? Yes, there is. Carcadine. Best monster in the game. I've enjoyed seeing quite a few of them in this map set. No swarms yet, maybe that's still to come. But certainly plenty of them. Yep, triangular steps again to reduce line usage. Okay. Ooh, don't like that. The cut-off lights there, didn't really like that. So this is just force you to go flicking switches, so you can't just kind of rush the room. You come up here, and obviously that opened earlier than expected, to be honest. Why not? I was expecting that to be when I walked over these lines rather than earlier, which made it a lot easier. The fact that it was earlier made it easier to deal with that. Interesting. Okay, and then we drop down here. Oh, could have got that 10 spot instead of the 25, never mind. Yeah, very thick doors. I used to do this very thick door thing a lot in the in like 94, 95, just because basically it was a bit easier with the tools at the time to do it that way. And it was, you just put some kind of border like that, then a thick door, and it, because I was drawing maps on grid paper before I mapped them, and the grid paper was like each square on the grid paper was a 64 by 64 space. So I used to kind of just say, well, this is a door, and that was how I would do doors. Don't see it so much these days. These really thick doors. There's certainly not a need to do it from a line saving perspective. It doesn't save any lines doing it that way. Another one. Nothing there that looks like a... As soon as there's going to be another one of these. Flicker switch to lower an elevator. Yep. Oh, so yes, all the commentary stops there while we deal with the monsters. Yeah, so Paul does love his teleport monster lines that kind of, shuffle monsters around on you, allow them to chase you around the map. It's not a bad idea, actually, to put them in there, because it allows... You see here another triangle, saving lines. It allows you to create situations where monsters who would struggle to path to where, because of the layout, monsters would struggle to path to where the player is. It allows you to put in teleport lines that move them to where the player is, based on what they'll probably try and do using their own logic to path to you. And do monsters pathing logic. It's very, very simple and straightforward. It's basically, if the player is in that direction, try and head in that direction, and if you can't, more or less randomly pick a direction to go to try and path to them. So obviously if you're here, and the monster is here, it's going to try to do this, and then it's going to go, oh, I can't, maybe I'll go this way, maybe I'll go this way, maybe I'll path backwards instead, see if I can find a route that way. And so you can sit over here, kind of, doing this. And the monster will basically just mimic you because it's too dumb to think, oh, well, I just keep coming around here and eventually I'll find him, because the game was made in the early 90s, so there was a limit on what the AI could do. Modern day AI is obviously quite a bit smarter. Thought I'd... So this kind of encounter seems a bit like... I open a door, a huge pile of monsters come moving towards me. Said monsters then ultimately... get choked up at the door in fight and can be smashed with rockets or whatever else you want to use. Like this fight's only kind of become... only started to actually drain much in the way of health off me because I've actually come into the room now. Which is not really ideal design. Generally speaking, it is better to not kind of make it, in my opinion, generally speaking, it is better to not make it the most efficient tactic to just kind of sit at a door and camp it. Which I feel like that encounter. So I assume that lift is going to be over here. Picking up all the ammo. Now I wonder if at some point Peacock is going to mix things up and do this kind of, oh, there's a lift and there's a switch, and you go, oh, I need to fix the switch to lower the lift. And then that's not actually how it works, and the switch unleashes monsters on you, which I'm assuming that this switch will also do. Yeah. And again, it's earlier. It's based off the light line, it would appear. There's a 10 spot. I don't know if I need that yet. I guess we will see. If I do, I'll always come back, because we've got the blue door now. There might be a secret in there, because I assume that's damaging. Yeah, it looks like it wraps around at the back. I knew I heard him. Relatively straightforward arch file. Very I was about to say before I heard the arch file, it's very satisfying to splatter a whole mess of zombie men with a... so something happened. Is it that door? Nope. Something went up when I did that. It's very satisfying to splatter a whole bunch of zombie men with a barrel. Okay, something went up. Yep, there we go. Oh, okay, that didn't go too well. Yeah, definitely something went up. I'd say it's wherever all those... wherever that is. So, shall I check out what's behind there? I shall. And then I'll decide whether I want to use it. So in here, because I'm assuming that's for this. Okay. I want that at the end of the map. Thanks, I'll take that to the next map with me. Definitely want him out of the way first. Definitely don't want to be using rockets right now because monsters are teleporting around. Okay, so there's an exit there, but it doesn't look like what I'm going to try here is this. Stupid. Stupid -20 and its damage problem. So sometimes when you've got the -10, -20 acid floor, it'll bleed even through a rad suit, which is what you saw there. So I don't see any particular reason to fight this guy. When I can do that. Yeah. That's partly because auto-aim struggles with stairs like that, particularly with projectile weapons, and I can see myself wasting a lot of plasma shooting the floor, and I don't have a BFG to try and BFG him, and I don't really want to fight him. Like, why waste the ammo? It's unnecessary. There's plenty of space to skip past, so I will. Okay, that was map 11, so we should get some text, story, such as it is. I mean, it's Doom, you know, like, it's not a heavily story-based game. It's a gameplay-based game. Okay, you are a survivor! Exclamation, full stop. You only need one of those, Paul. You cleared the jungle, and then the infested space station with its cyber demon boss, which has been terrorized forever. Well, ignored. But the battle isn't over yet. Despite the destruction of the space station, some of the demons have managed to make it back down to Earth, despite mankind's best efforts to destroy them. Too many despites. These monsters now infected with a mystery virus and causing a huge pandemic to sweep across the globe. So it's very topical, obviously. As you step through the portal, you are sent to a dark island. Your goal is to clear it and try to find the source of this pandemic. Not an easy task. Time to get ready and destroy. Okay, and we can definitely see, obviously, very different visual motif for Dagon. So it's a Cthulhu reference, Dagon, Lovecraft reference. Lovecraft was a dirty racist, for anyone who doesn't know. Like, even by the standards of the incredibly racist time in which he lived, he was a lunatic. But he wrote some books that obviously resonated with people. In any case, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and catch you in the next one.